Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This pick a card is about what's ending and what's beginning, right? Because with every ending comes a new beginning. So if you haven't as of yet chosen a card or a crystal on the table, go back to the very beginning of the video. I do have timestamps there where you can take a close-up look at the cards via a picture clip as well as a video clip. Where I zoom in on the cards and the crystals, and you can pause any of that portion there to take as much time as you need in order to choose. And you know, like I always say, if during that time you feel led to pick more than one, go ahead and listen to your intuition. Pick more than one if you feel it necessary. Listening to your intuition, of course, is always going to be highly encouraged here, so go ahead and do what you need to do. I also do consider these readings timeless, right? So whether you watch it at the upload time or sometime after, if you feel that intuitive nudge to watch, there may indeed be a message here for you. But what I always say is, let's say if this particular reading does not connect or resonate for you, that is okay, right? Because there's a lot of videos out there. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there that focus on tarot. I'm pretty sure if I'm not the one who has a message for you, someone else will. Not only that, I always encourage you also to maybe take a look at my pick a card playlist. I have a bunch of pick a cards I've already done there. There could indeed be one that has a message for you there as well. So with all that being said, Star Family, we're going to go ahead and get directly into the reading, but let me tell you what the crystals are. We have Amethyst, Clear Quartz, and Malachite on the table. So go ahead and choose your card and crystal and then go back to your reading. Pile number 1 viewers, you chose this really cool piece of polished amethyst. I know it doesn't look like amethyst, but I swear it is. It's just a really dark, rich purple stone. So that is your crystal. Bear with me one second while I adjust your lighting. There we go. This is your card. There is a message on the back of this. I will incorporate this in the reading. I did shuffle for each pile to help you choose. So that is your card. I will incorporate that message towards the end. We are looking at what is ending for you, okay? And then what is beginning, right? Because with every ending comes a beginning. So we're going to take a look at the ending first. Let's find out what's ending for you, pile number 1 viewers. What's coming to a close, right? Maybe a cycle that's coming to a close. What's that all about? So ending for pile number 1 viewers, what's ending? All right, and now we want to take a look at what's beginning, right? What new things are beginning for you? What new things for pile number 1 viewers is beginning? So new beginnings for pile number 1 viewers. All right. So let's take a look at the endings first. Hold on here. I want to make sure you can see everything. There we go. All right, so endings. Let's take a look. All right. Wow. All right, so this is pretty cool. What this is telling me is that this struggle, this challenge, this fight, okay, to come out of this quietude or time frame of non-action, like where a lot has not been happening. You know, for whatever reason, the Hermit card these days, especially with lockdowns and quarantines, I can't help but think of the Hermit. So it could be that that's what's changing and coming to an end for some of you wherever you are, is that you're coming out of this hiding period or this quarantine period where things are starting to open back up again. That's a possibility. But I also see this as like, this energy of the 7 of Wands is usually a fight, a struggle where you're having to stand up for yourself or not give up on a goal or something that you're striving for, and you have to put your energy into something. Sometimes it talks about endurance and stamina with the 7 of Wands. And with the Hermit together, it's giving me this combo of, you know, this period of where things aren't happening and you've been striving even in the silence or even in the quiet time. You've still been pushing and giving your all, even though with the Hermit things aren't happening. That's what's coming to a close. So anything you've been giving your energy to and you feel like or have felt like it has not been making much gain, okay? The Hermit is that quiet non-action energy. and you could have been giving your all, but things just weren't moving, right? Things just weren't showing on the surface. That's what's coming to a close. It feels like you're coming out of that where nothing's happening. And now, I haven't gotten to this yet, but kind of feels like moving to a period of where things will start happening. Okay, so let's take a look at what is beginning, right? Because we know this period of struggle, this period of non-action, this period where nothing seems to be happening. Maybe also you're finishing up a chapter of soul searching, right? With the Hermit especially. Could be that some of you are coming out of the struggle, coming out of the dark, emerging from your hermit's cave, especially if you've been doing a lot of this shadow work. That feels like that chapter of shadow work or soul searching or evolving, like coming into your divine light, right? That period is ending with these two cards. Period of struggle is coming to a close, and you're emerging out of the dark or out of the shadow that you learned from. You'll hear me oftentimes say, you know, we oftentimes learn from the shadow, but we don't have to live there. In other words, we don't have to stay in the dark. We can learn from the dark, but we don't have to live there. Okay, this is kind of like you emerging from the dark or emerging out of a period where things weren't happening. You're coming out of that, and that's what's coming to a close. That's what's coming to an end. This is you know, you have given it your good fight with the Seven of Wands. Maybe even against the odds. Maybe kept fighting for something or fighting for a goal, a dream, a manifestation. You, with the Seven of Wands, definitely have been putting the fight in, even if you haven't been seeing a lot of action as a result. But this period of non-action is what's ending. This period of shadow or being in the dark or having gone through your soul-searching journey, that's what's closing out. Okay? So let's take a look at what's beginning. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Could this get any better? The Star. You have Virgo with the Hermit. You have Aquarius over here with the Star. And you have the King of Cups. Why did I want to say Gemini? Almost. It almost came out of my mouth. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay. This is giving me vibes that, again, wish fulfillment's on the other side of this non-action energy where things just aren't happening, right? The King of Cups is an energy that stays in its heart. It works from its heart. It wants to do the things and that align with its heart, right? Something that you've had your heart set on with the King of Cups is what is beginning now. You're moving into this after this difficulty of nothing happening. Now things are going to start happening. You have wish fulfillment. You're moving into a period of accessing or achieving your wish fulfillment, like the Star. The Star is that divine guidance. It's the same star that is in the lamp of the Hermit, right? A lot of times you see the Hermit depicted with the star normally in its lamp. And it's the same star in the Star card. So a lot of times the Hermit is guided by the Star. In other words, the Star is a symbol of divine guidance, right? And he's never truly in the dark because he always has that aspect lighting the way for him and showing him the way, working from the inside out. Hermit is very internal energy, right? It goes inward to understand, to know, to gain wisdom. But in that period of solitude, he is indeed guided. He's never truly alone. Why? Because he has the Star as the lamp unto his feet. And then you have it here. So yeah, even in the dark, even if you've been wandering in the dark, traveling in the dark, fighting against the odds towards something that you weren't seeing manifest or come to fruition, you still were being guided in that process. The Star energy is showing you now that you're entering this period where you're able to actually reach your star, okay? You're actually able to reach it. Most of that is because it feels like over here you've been intuitively led in this direction, or you've stayed in your heart space. You haven't given up on that. You've remained true to that as well. This beginning here is full of lots of possibilities. The Star is indicating hope and faith, and that you maintained your hope and faith even in the unknown, right? Because the Hermit does walk in the dark. You've put your Seven of Wands energy with a warrior stance, right? Towards something. I'm not giving up, because pretty much what the Seven of Wands always says, I don't give up. And you haven't. But that period of fighting, despite not seeing any action, that's what's closing, but it's putting you on the path to this star energy, which is your wish, your manifestation. You're on the path to divine guidance now. This new chapter of divine guidance is indeed beginning in a way where now, instead of feeling like you're in the dark, you're actually able to see the light. You're coming out of the cave to look up at the stars, to look up. Things are looking up with star energy. This new beginning is looking up. And the King of Cups energy is this feeling of, I knew it the whole time. I knew things were going to look up the whole time. My heart knew it the whole time. This beautiful star, it's kind of like, you know, I always think of it as synchronicity. I always think of it as our squad that kind of surrounds us, looks down on us, guides the way, even at times when we can't see things for ourselves, even at times when we, you know, want to lose hope. There's always this divine guiding force that now helps us navigate through the unknown. Again, going back to the Hermit energy too, because it's that same feeling. You're in the dark, but you're still navigating through the unknown. But there's this faith and hope that keeps us in check, kind of. And oftentimes with the Seven of Wands, again, doesn't let us to give up the fight. It doesn't allow us. Because when we want something, when we believe in something enough, we're willing to put in the fight, even if at times we don't see it. You're on your path to wish fulfillment. This new chapter, this new beginning is helping you access and reach that. And a lot of it is because, again, at the end of the day, you stayed in your heart. You believed. You didn't give up hope. You didn't give up your faith in the possibility that maybe something would break through for you. And the star is actually you now. It feels like, why do I want to, that's so weird. I almost said like greeting you. It's like the stars greeting you now, or maybe your wish is like greeting you, or you're going to meet your wish. It kind of feels like, because when you do meet something, or meet someone, right, you do greet them. When you meet somebody for the first time, you do greet them. That's so weird. Anyhow, that does connect in a sense where you could be greeting or meeting the very thing that you have been after this whole time. It's like finally being in alignment with it, or meeting it when it's meant for you, right? So I do want to grab a couple of these. In other words, you're on the path to your wish fulfillment, okay? What's ending is the difficult period of not actually seeing anything result from all your hard work. Okay. A period of shadow is also coming to a close. What's beginning is you actually meeting your wish fulfillment. You attaining it, you reaching for it. And it being also put on your path to receive as well. So it's like it's being put on your path to receive it. It's this wish, whatever this is something big on your heart. And it's also that, you know, confirming that you've stayed in your heart the whole time toward it. So this is the beginning of you reaching your wish fulfillment, your goals, the way that the divine has been guiding you to a better path. The difficult chapter's over. You're emerging out of that and into a position where you can actually receive your star, meet your star, greet your star, whatever that star is to you, manifestation, a wish, of vision. Again, Aquarian energy is visionary energy, so that's why I say that with the star. Something on your heart. And then we have the sun. So yeah, this is a successful symbol, right? The sun is all about vitality, high vibe energy, clarity, gaining clarity on something. Again, I said with the Hermit, you were walking in the dark. Nonetheless, Spirit was guiding you even in the dark, so you're not truly alone. But this difficult period of not knowing where you're going sometimes with the Hermit, nonetheless taking the journey anyway or allowing yourself to be led into the unknown, that's what's coming to a close, and you're emerging from the dark of your cave into the light. Nonetheless, being led the whole time by the guidance of the star, about, you know, from the divine itself. And then the sun is definitely the indication that better times are to come. So this period where nothing was happening, everything was kind of lull, right? On a lull or in a weird space where just stagnant, right? Sometimes non-action cards can feel very stagnant. There's a couple of them, like Four of Cups is one of them, Hermit, Hangman. And I say stagnant because things just aren't happening. There's no action in those cards. And that can stink, right? Because we're fighting for something over here with the Seven of Wands. We want something to happen. And we're giving something our all. Again, it's taking our stamina and endurance, and we're still pushing. We don't give up with the Seven of Wands because something just doesn't let us, right? And a lot of times that's the divine itself that doesn't allow us to give up. And we keep pushing and striving, even though we're not seeing anything happen from it or see anything come of it. But it just doesn't allow us to give up. Now, number 7 is a very spiritual path as well. If that's your life path number, you know, a lot of times you're spiritually led and you can't fall asleep on the way that you're being guided. It just doesn't let you. Okay, and oddly enough, the Hermit in this card does have a flame. So again, it kind of feels like normally it's depicted with the star, like I said earlier, but in this case, it's the divine flame. So the divine flame has literally been lit, and you can't just sit on it. Once that fire's been stoked and the divine has been trying to push you in a certain direction, you just can't let it go. You are Seven of Wands energy. You fight for it. You become restless if you don't have it or achieve it or fulfill it in some way. But the sun here is just, of course, right? It's telling you that it's power. It's life force energy, isn't it? It makes things grow. Again, number 7 itself is a number of personal growth. So things are starting to grow where things were not growing or not seemed like they were making much progress. They will start making progress now. You have the sun to give it that life, to give it that force, to give it that energy, to make it grow and expand. And then not only that, to top it off, having clarity on the whole situation. You know, I have to say, sometimes the Hermit energy, we feel like we're in that lull, right? Where nothing's happening. But sometimes it's because the divine timing aspect of it with the star is not at the right time for us, right? That doesn't mean that you're not shining, right? Because the star always does. You are the star and you are shining. And that's another thing that's starting to begin. People are going to start noticing your shine. We have two aspects that do shine. We have the sun and the star. So this is telling me that you're moving into a period where it's your time to shine. Literally. Success with the sun. And sometimes the star even talks about fame or recognition and people looking at you and admiring you like the star, like they do the stars in the sky. So if you were working on something and you were giving it your all and you were wondering when you were ever going to be noticed, well, that period of not being noticed is what's over, and you're moving into a period of where you will be noticed. And then there's this warm, sunshiny vibe all around it, which just exudes success. Sun is also associated with Leo as well. So yeah, I mean, I think you're just moving into a really positive period altogether, and it's going to be your time to shine in a lot of different aspects. Positive energy now surrounding the situation to help you achieve your wish fulfillment, or the biggest goal on your heart with the King of Cups. Okay, so again, just continue to listen to your intuition. Things are starting to look up with the star. That's the beginning that's happening for you. This new beginning after this difficult period of quietude, right? Non-action is ending, but it's putting you on a path where now it's your time. It's your time to receive. It's your time to meet your wish. Greet your wish with the star. And to have your cup full to the brim with the King of Cups. So let's get a final oracle card here for you. This is the Enchanted Map. I will read directly from the book. These cards just are too magical not to read directly from the book. So let's get one final oracle card for you, pile number 1 viewers. Okay. All right, what do we got here? Wow, magic prayer. All right, let's see what it says. Bear with me while I try to find this in numerical order. Oh, look at that. Magic prayer. Speak your prayers, listen for the answers, act in faith. The star is a symbol of faith and hope. Upright, and I do read both, right? Upright and reversed, but it says, when you see the magic prayer card, it is a reminder that your prayers will be answered. Boom. There you go. Spirit is always waiting to help you and to heal you when you're in need. That said, the best prayer is, thy will be done through me, thy will and not mine be done. Conscious contact with your higher power is achieved through the ritual of prayer and meditation. Speak and listen to the divine force within. There you go. That would be the hermit, right? Who goes in search of that and goes to get in touch with that. Speak and listen to the divine force within the field of creation. Surrender your wishes and desires. Oh my gosh, could this be any more accurate? Again, the wish fulfillment of the star card. Anyway, surrender your wishes and desires to spirit. You may not get what you want, but you will surely get what you need. Your destiny awaits you. And I was talking about that, right? When you feel that flame, that push, you can't give up on that. You can't just sit on it. You have to go act upon it. Like you know, Spirit just doesn't let you give up on this thing that's been inspired inside of you. And you have to go in pursuit of that. And that is part of your destiny. It says, as long as you keep in conscious contact with your higher power, be assured that you are on the right path. Wow. Reversed, like I said, I always read in case it resonates. It says, self-will that goes unchecked can bring difficulties. Reversed, the magic prayer card is a sign that you mistakenly believe that your way is the only one. Could the path you're on be leading you to a place of regret, or could you be pursuing something that just isn't good for you? If so, you may be facing a painful lesson and a lonely one too. Perhaps it is time to pray and meditate on your highest good and the highest good of all. Spirit may have other plans for you. Be assured that they will be better than you could have ever dreamed up for yourself. That is very true. That can happen. That's why it says over here, you may not get what you want, but you'll surely get what you need, right? And that's the thing. Sometimes, you know, we have a certain idea for ourselves or certain vision for ourselves, but Spirit sees the bigger picture and knows something we don't. So at that point, sometimes we just have to give it up, right? Not saying give it up, but more like surrender to what it's going to look like, the way that it will materialize, you know, all of these things. Because sometimes, again, you don't get exactly what you want, but you will always get exactly what it is that you need for you and your highest good and the highest good of all, right? So that is your reading, pile number 1, viewers. If you feel that this has helped or connected for you, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Real quick, I almost forgot your card. Let's go ahead and read this and see what it says before I forget. It kind of felt like it blended in with the table there. So that was your doorway. It says, bless this space. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear Palo Santo. What am I reading that? See, I cannot read these through the I can't read through the damn screen. I try my best. But it says, bless this space. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear Palo Santo or sage will clear the air. Oh, okay. There you go. So maybe bless your space, clear your space, prepare your space even. I always say, like, sometimes we got to prepare our mind, body, heart, spirit, and even our space, yes, in order to receive. And I was getting that vibe over here also with the star energy, where it's like, you know, you're about to meet your wish or greet your wish, right? And maybe this is kind of you prepping yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, right? Or physically your space to receive the answer to your prayer or to receive the wish fulfillment. This card was also indicating prayer as well, meditation and whatnot. So those things all align. Anyhow, like I said, if you feel this connects, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to support this channel. Click the little bell for notification as well. I upload pretty often. That way you get notified. Every interaction does help this channel grow. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, check me out on Etsy. All my information is in the description box down below. It's just a matter of clicking down below in the description box. The link is there. You can visit at any time. I have crystal jewelry and tarot readings available. Sometimes they're sold out, just letting you know, but I always do repost as soon as I've completed those for people who have purchased a reading last. So again, I'll leave you here. Much love to you. Sorry I forgot your card. Anyhow, take care of yourselves. Most importantly though, always keep shining. Pile number 2, viewers, this is your crystal. It's a piece of clear quartz. I'm going to put that there. This is your card. There is a message on the back of that. I will go ahead and read that towards the end. I did shuffle for these that you choose from, so definitely going to incorporate that. But let's go ahead and take a look at what's ending and what's beginning for you. Endings and beginnings, right? Because with every ending comes a new beginning. So let's take a look at what's ending for you. What's coming to a close for you. Pile number 2, viewers. Whoa, okay. Interesting. We have the Lovers and the Knight of Wands. All right, so let's see what's beginning for you. What is beginning? I don't know why I just got the vibe of the Lovers is saying this period of indecision in regards to not knowing what direction you're going in, because the Knight of Wands talks about forward movement and momentum. We have Leo, Aries, Sagittarius over here. Okay, so let's take a look at what's beginning. What's beginning? Whoa, there was one that fell out right here. And then we're just going to grab one of these. Sorry about me clearing my throat there. All right, so as far as what's ending, right? The Lovers can talk about a decision. It can talk about needing to be in alignment when you're not. So if at any time there was a period of like not being balanced or in alignment with self, maybe not knowing which direction you were going in next or what you should do next, like again, that period of indecision, because it does talk about decision making. Yes, it could talk about soulmates and love interests. For some of you, it could be that's what's coming to a close. Maybe a period of imbalance with your special person. I'm not seeing like a breakup at all, right? Or anything like that. What this is giving me vibes of is that there's a period of where you didn't know where you were going with this person or what it was going to become next. Like that feels like what's ending. This period of maybe not being in union is what's ending. I feel like these 2 cards want to be in alignment so they can move forward. And because it's in a period that's being put behind you, this is telling me that you're coming out of that indecision. You're coming into a period where, yeah, you will be able to move forward. And I know that I haven't even gotten to this beginning cards over here. What this is telling me, if you just didn't know where you stood with somebody, well, that's what's ending. You're going to know soon where you stand with them. I also feel like this period of not being in union for some of you is also what's coming to a close. And somebody could then eventually be moving towards you. Whatever it is that kept you in a period of indecision or needing to make a choice, this is feeling like a decision would be made soon, so that way with the Knight of Wands energy you could move forward. And that's what's ending, this period of indecisive energy, or this period of imbalance that maybe kept you stuck and not able to move forward. That's what's ending. But it's like once a decision is made and once you know what you need to do, then you can move forward. There's really nothing much to hold you back, because you become in alignment. Like once you're certain of what it is that you want to do, where you want to go, you're in a place of alignment and balance with your inner truth, and then you can take action with the Knight of Wands. There's nothing really to keep you stuck or still. Okay. So I'm curious to see what this new beginning energy is all about, because I felt like something needed to be decided, or something needed to come together. It also feels like something wasn't coming together. And that's the period that's ending, where things weren't coming together, things weren't being decided, no movement or action was being taken. That's what's ending. All right, so let's see the beginning here. Page of Wands, yes, that's good energy. Whoa. Queen of Pentacles. So look at the progression. You go from a page to a queen, like complete level up. Okay. More Wands energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius over here with the page. And then the Queen of Pentacles is Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy. She's stability. She's very grounded. She's safe, secure. She has all her needs met, and then some. She can speak of abundance and prosperity, having her house in order. So this is what you're moving into. Okay, why did I just get vibes of fluctuation from the Lovers too? Like a period of too much fluctuation and instability. Again, back and forth, indecisive, right? Because if you're indecisive, your thoughts and your mindset is fluctuating. That could equate also to your physical everyday world, or that could also equate to your actions fluctuating, or how you decide to enact something fluctuates, right? It's like from one day you're like, oh, I want to do this, but then another day I want to do that. And then again, the decision on what to do or how to act, or your next action, is what felt like with these two cards is fluctuating. And now this new beginning, right, is offering you brand new ideas, inspiration. It is another action card. It's also the initiation or the beginning steps towards something. It's also good news. Pages do deliver messages. Page of Wands especially is a good news card. So there is good news coming your way in this new beginning that will help you feel more secure, safe, and grounded towards maybe actions that you want to take where you felt before you couldn't. This period of indecisive action or disoriented action, right? That's what's coming to a close. Because how can you take action towards something if you don't know what to do? You can't. How can you come into union with somebody if you don't know where you stand, right? You can't. That's what it feels like is ending here. How can you come into alignment with the thing that you're supposed to do, or the moves that you're supposed to make, if you don't know, right? Because the Lovers talks about choice. And that's what's ending. That period of not knowing, or feeling up in the air, or a period of fluctuation, of undecided energy and inability to make a choice decisively, is what's coming to an end. And now that, let's say, a decision is made, right? And you know, and you're sure and certain and confident, like the Queen of Pentacles is, secure, right? You can take the steps that you want to take with the Page of Wands and initiate a new action confidently with the Queen of Pentacles. So some of you are on the verge of kind of like not knowing what you want to do or where you stand, but coming into a period soon where you do know. And you're sure, and you're confident, you're certain. I love the Queen of Pentacles here because she's definitely secure in her money, secure in herself, secure in her goals, or whatever it is that she's looking to achieve. You could be entering a period of learning. Again, Page of Wands are students of life. They're always in the learning phase or in the beginning stages of learning something new or taking steps towards that. They're exploring their options, they're exploring their possibilities, exploring their creative side. And she does have an artist palette here. So for those of you looking to paint, draw, create, right? Yeah, this new beginning is going to be full of inspiration, but also the potential to truly solidify your goals. Also, if it's a love situation, soulmate situation, this period of non-action, in other words, with the lovers, where, you know, you just didn't know where you stood with them. Maybe the whole situation with them was completely undecided. You might hear from them with the Page of Wands. You might get a message from them to kind of solidify or secure the connection again, or to initiate maybe a new phase or chapter with them. So yeah, coming out of a period of not being together or not being in union or not being on the same page. And now it's like moving into this energy here where something new gets kicked off, something new gets initiated. But what it does is, you know, reading the Queen of Pentacles as an energy, it creates a environment, because she's all about her home life, creates an environment of stability. So this new beginning is bringing lots of new things to learn, for one, with the page. You could be starting a new job or learning a new trade, learning a new skill, maybe taking the initiation steps towards a goal or a creative project, right? It's bringing in communication via people that maybe you haven't heard from in a while, or people that you want to mend the fences with. It's bringing in a chapter or a new phase of also financial well-being and security, being provided for, having everything that you need. With the Queen of Pentacles here, stable in her home life, in her job, in her finances, everything's looking up in that direction because she has everything she needs and then some. She's completely supplied for. So if any of you were worried about like an unpredictable time when it came to, you know, your finances, again, the fluctuation I was feeling for whatever with the lovers, the Queen of Pentacles is very much secure and safe in that department. So this new beginning, it's like be prepared to receive some good news too. Phone call, email, text. It could be good news in regards to a money situation, a goal situation with the Pentacles over here with the Queen of Pentacles, a creative project with the Page of Wands. I also feel like over here with the Knight of Wands energy, what's ending is like this feeling of, again, that need for balance, that need for alignment, and then moving towards something with motivation, ambition, and confidence. I also feel that somebody could be moving towards you. Like I said before, you could hear from somebody. So there's definitely there's a lot of action-oriented energy with the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands. So if there was a lot of this, right, with the lovers, a lot of up and down. The Queen of Pentacles is kind of like deeply rooting it, so it's not doing that anymore. I think there's a sense of direction now. Okay, we do have a compass on here. You can see that. There is now a newfound sense of direction after a period of indecision. And the period of indecision or up in the air or fluctuation is what's ending, but it's putting you on the path to your security. And things happening, okay, in a way that, you know, you don't have to wonder anymore. Because the Queen of Pentacles, again, grounded energy, earth energy, she knows where she stands. She literally does have 2 feet on the ground. There's no feeling of being, there's no indecisive energy there. There's no feeling of being up in the air at all. She's very much grounded. So let's see. Pile number 2 viewers here. Oh, okay. Interesting. We have the broom. The broom talks about like domesticity and domestic responsibilities, to be honest. So remember when I said that the Queen of Pentacles does get her house in order? That's the broom. I feel like over here that you know, that period of things not being in order is what's ending, and you're moving into a period where they will be in order. Not only that, remember I was saying how it's like you could be coming finally into union or getting on the same page with somebody that maybe you weren't in union with before, or you couldn't see eye to eye with before. It's like finally coming into balance with this person. The broom, because it's kind of representing, it represents a phallic energy, okay, much like the Knight of Wands holds his wand, Page of Wands holds its wand. Broom is the very same way. It can talk about something erotic in this deck and something exotic. So again, the feeling of passion stirring, passions ignited also could be with the Page of Wands. Again, you could be encountering somebody with the broom in a sexual manner, okay? Also, let me go back to the Lover's card. What's ending could be a period where maybe you didn't find a special person. Maybe you haven't had a soulmate, or you've been searching for a soulmate and you weren't finding them. And it's like now you're finally meeting them, you're encountering them, you're establishing something with them, you're having a passionate encounter with someone. Like, let's say if the love life has been dry, you know, like that could be the area or the situation that's ending for some of you. And you're meeting new people with the Page of Wands and feeling like a Queen of Pentacles, where it's like feeling more confident in the direction that your dating life or love life is going in, especially with the Broom card. So I'm bringing that up because of the Broom. So definitely could be meeting somebody. Passions could get stirred and ignited. Somebody could be moving towards you, especially if you've been trying to manifest a soulmate for some time and it just wasn't happening. Now would be the time, yeah, the time that you're entering into. This new beginning is going to bring that. The household situation could be improving as well with the Queen of Pentacles. Like, again, getting your ish in order, getting your house in order, your finances in order, your projects in order with the Broom. It's like a period of disorder is ending, entering a beginning of order. Okay? Where things were in disorder, now they're coming into a period of order. So that's always going to be positive in that case, right? I know we're still in springtime. Some of us are still spring cleaning, that kind of thing. For whatever reason, Page of Wands and Queen of Pentacles was giving me vibes of minimalism with the Broom. as well. Let's see what this is, and then I'm going to grab the Enchanted Map Oracle for your final. I almost forgot the little card here for the first reading, so I want to grab it now before I grab this because I will forget. Kind of blends in with the green and everything with the table like the other card did. Let's see what this has to say. Oh, Three of Cups. Look at that. A toast to friendship in the afternoon sun. Three of Cups in happiness. Three cheers are done. Celebration is near. Well, Three of Cups, the Three of Cups in the tarot also does talk about reunion, guys. So again, this feeling of reuniting with somebody or uniting with somebody in general is what this reading was giving me vibes of. Coming to alignment with something or someone that maybe you were up in the air with or didn't have a sense of direction towards, but you're coming into union with that. A toast to friendship in the afternoon sun. Three cups in happiness. Three cheers are done. Celebration. There's going to be something to celebrate soon for you guys. Maybe the celebration of a creative project or a new endeavor that you're taking on. A new job for some of you with the Queen of Pentacles. Newfound sense of stability. Also, the reuniting, maybe reuniting with a soulmate, meeting a new person, meeting a new love, or reuniting with somebody who was kind of like elusive to you, coming together and being on the same page with them, finally forging union with one another. Okay. So let's take a look at the Enchanted Map. Let's get a, and I will read from the book because this deck, like I mentioned in the first reading, is just too good not to read directly from the book. So let's see what we get for you. Pile number 2, viewers. Let's see. Yeah, your house is going to be in order. It feels like things are going to get cleaned up, but in the best of ways. Like any disorder now gets, you know, put in order. Any confusion also gets, yeah, you're not confused anymore. Any period of where like you weren't on the same page with somebody, that also gets fixed. Disorder to order is what this is telling me, okay? Whoa, okay. We have, wait a minute here. Pile number 1 had, was it, hold on. I'll let you know right now. Pile number 1 had, yep. Pile number 1 had number 32. And you guys are getting number 31. That's kind of freaky. Okay. Okay. So it says dry desert, right? It says, dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. Upright. And I do read both reversed and upright messages in case they apply. It says, is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? Have your ideas dried up, right? And the Page of Wands does talk about inspiration and brand new ideas, right? Let's see. Does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until after consistent effort, you reach the oasis you're searching for. It says, consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water essential for life can be found deep underground. Go deep within yourself now. Find your truth there. Let spirit sustain you while you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you're in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. Now, again, the Lover's card can talk of, you know, a choice and needing to choose something. And sometimes in the midst of not knowing what to choose, we can feel like up in the air, right? And that's the thing. This is kind of feeling like a period of where you didn't know, right? That is what's coming to a close. Maybe you did do the real work to discover what you needed to do or what you needed to know. And that's why it's coming to a close, right? Because you did the work. It says, anyhow, this may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. So again, where things were up in the air, a period of where things were up in the air and you didn't maybe have a sense of direction of where you were going or what you were doing or where things were going to end up, right? That's what's ending. And maybe it wasn't productive because things were just undecided, right? But looks are deceiving. It says this may not seem, or maybe it wasn't, maybe it didn't seem like the most productive time, right? This period that's ending. But looks are deceiving. This is a most important place to find what's truly right for you. Again, and once you know, then you can move forward. Once you know what's right for you, then you can move forward, right? So anyhow, reversed, I always read it in case it resonates. It says, the subject of your inquiry is barren and can't give you anything right now. No matter how beautiful and seductive the shimmering glow of a mirage, this is an illusion. When the dry desert card is reversed, it's a warning not to be hypnotized into thinking you will achieve your desire. Hold on. This well is empty. Consider the gift here, though. Know that while this is not the right place, person, or circumstance for you at the moment, it means that something much better, more fulfilling, and sustaining is coming. Celebrate the warning and be grateful. Okay, so it could be that maybe, remember I said, well, it didn't feel like there was a breakup or an ending of a situation with somebody. Maybe that reverse message is indicating that for some of you, you know, maybe there was a period where a situation with a soulmate came to a close, and maybe they moved on with the Knight of Wands, but in the interim, right, this new beginning that you're entering into is going to bring you someone else instead, right? Likewise, I had already gotten the vibe over here that you could be meeting somebody new. And this Page of Wands could be that person, okay? Again, like I said, if your love life was kind of barren or your romantic life was barren over here with the lovers, and you were, you know, looking and wishing for a soulmate or to manifest a soulmate, and there just wasn't anybody, you know, that was in alignment with you, this is you now meeting somebody, and the broom is bringing that passionate encounter, right? So that does make sense with this card as well. Again, if love life was kind of dry, like the desert, right? And I did mention dry. It's funny enough. And then you get the dry desert. This is indicating that, let's say, while maybe in the past those people weren't the right people under the right circumstances or at the right place or time, right? It means that something much better, more fulfilling, and life-sustaining is coming. Celebrate the warning, right? Or celebrate dodging those bullets in love in the past, and right, look forward to better things to come, or better people that are more in alignment with you to come, right? So, and then we have again the Three of Cups, which talks about meeting, or what does it say, a toast to friendship, meeting new people perhaps, or meeting people who are more in alignment with you. Three of Cups brings happiness, celebrations, reunions, uniting, gatherings. The Three of Cups is also social settings. So yeah, you're definitely on the path to meet new things, or meet new things that inspire you, or have fresh ideas that are ignited after a period of not knowing, or not having inspiration. Again, what was in disorder is now moving into a chapter of order. Okay, so pile number 2, this is your reading. If you feel that this has helped or connected for you, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe as well to support this channel. Every interaction does help this channel grow, so maybe consider clicking that little bell for future notifications so you don't miss out on content. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, please go ahead and check out the description box down below. All you have to do is click my Etsy link. The link to my shop is there, and you can pay me a visit. I have personal readings and crystal jewelry there for you also. So much love to you wherever you are. Pile number 2 viewers, take care and keep shining. Hello, pile number 3 viewers. You chose this lovely piece of malachite. That is your crystal. This is your card, and there is a message on the back of this. I will incorporate it into the reading because I did actually shuffle for all 3 cards that you were able to choose from. So I'll save that towards the end. What we're looking at is brand new beginnings, right? Endings and then brand new beginnings. So what's ending for you? That could be a cycle, that could be a situation that's coming to a close. And what is beginning for you, right? Because with every ending is a new beginning. So pile number 3, let's take a look at the endings, things that are coming to a close in your life, maybe a cycle, something that is ending in your environment or situation, a cycle that's coming to a close. What is it that's ending for you at this time? But again, where one thing ends, another door begins or another door opens, right, to bring in a new beginning. So let's see the endings first for pile number 3 viewers. Okay. Now we're going to go over to new beginnings. We want to take a look at the new beginnings opening up to you. What new beginnings are opening up for you? Pile number 3 viewers, new beginnings, please, for pile number 3. Okay. All right. Let's start with the endings first. Okay. Wow. The Tower energy and the Ace of Cups. Whoa, that's fascinating. All right. So the Tower energy is an energy of shakeups, right? And wake ups. I always call it my shake up to wake up card. The reason for that is sometimes our foundation does get shook up. And for whatever reason, just real quick, the feeling this combo just gave me was something about your heart chakra being activated, right? And having to kind of open that up. It could have been that your heart chakra was activated, opened up in some way, maybe with someone or something. With that Ace of Cups there, maybe love associated, maybe romantic associated, but nonetheless, there's something that usually activates your heart area, and it does feel like the shake up to wake up was associated with the heart area. I hope I'm making that make sense. So it kind of feels like what's coming to a close is it could be a period where that was opened up or activated, and in that activation of the heart chakra, okay, it did shake things up to wake things up. You could have woken up, all right, during that time. It was maybe an awakening that you had. The period of that awakening is what feels like it's coming to a close. Again, towers oftentimes bring paradigm shifts, and with those paradigm shifts, right, things can happen to us. Things can spiritually be activated within us. And it kind of feels like the cycle of that awakening or paradigm shift or mindset, not only is it ending and coming to a close finally, but it also feels like in the process of that experience, it also activated something inside you with the Ace of Cups. It also activated healing, right? Ace of Cups does talk about renewal and healing. Sometimes it can speak of emotions overflowing, sometimes a cleansing and cathartic process of the emotions that takes place. So again, when the Tower is shaking up an Ace of Cups, or kind of like, how would you say, like, think of like an earthquake a little bit. Like, let's say if you have a glass of water on the table and there's an earthquake, you're going to see the rumble in the water, right? That's what this kind of feels like. A period where maybe your internal world, your spiritual world, your emotional world got shook up. That is what's ending. But in the process of that experience, again, also activated a lot of healing. Maybe activated and blasted your heart chakra open with these 2 cards. And that experience is what's coming to a close. For some of you, it's spiritual, like a spiritual healing period that you've had and experienced, where a lot of that deprogramming and old paradigms come crumbling down, so you can see the reality and the truth of what your inner truth is, maybe what the truth is of your heart. Like all of that period feels like it's coming to a close. Like you've already went through it, you've done it, you've been there, done that, and now it's time to like put that to a close, right? That healing period is over, or that awakening period that you had is over. And then for some of you, it is maybe with the Tower and the Ace of Cups, okay? Maybe for some of you, a relationship that you had that activated your heart area, okay? But it came to a close. Like that relationship maybe is over. Maybe you finally have put that behind you. For some of you, it was somebody that you loved, somebody that you cared about, but maybe that person was a catalyst for some aspect of your growth. Again, the shake up, the wake up. Sometimes we meet people who activate things within us. They kickstart a period of our growth. Upon meeting them, they become catalysts for our growth through the love that we experience with them, as well as the heartbreak that we experience with them. Okay, so again, it's the same feeling, but it feels like either it's a spiritual awakening, maybe somebody you met. Either way, whatever it was, your heart chakra or your heart area got activated in some way. This situation was a catalyst for growth, but also a catalyst for healing. Okay, that experience and that period or that cycle of that situation is what's coming to a close. The beautiful thing about the Tower is that when the dust settles, okay, you do see things clearly for what they are and for what they aren't. These two cards together is feeling like hindsight. It's almost like looking back after the dust settles, you can see what that love was to you. You can see who that person was to you. You can see what they did or what they changed in your heart, or how the encounter activated something in you, which then put you or propelled you on a path to your spiritual growth, right? Hindsight, you can look back and see how and what that relationship taught you, what the lesson was, right? This is what these two cards are feeling like. That period of growth, that paradigm shift, that period of healing, that catalyst, whoever they were or whatever it was, whatever it taught you, whatever it brought you, however it changed you, however it healed you or put you on a path to healing, that entire cycle of whatever that was is finally coming to an end. The beautiful thing about, again, the Tower is I don't always see these cards as shadow or negative, because there's always a light to the dark. The positive aspect of the Tower, it does give us a clean slate. It does give us a fresh start once the dust settles, if you know what I mean. So again, with that shake up to wake up also comes a new beginning or fresh energy. And that's also indicated by the Ace of Cups. The Tower, right, brings things down that weren't meant to, that really weren't built to last. Those towers do have to come crumbling down if we're going to build our future on things that are based in reality and solid ground. So again, the Tower is full of changes. It brings changes with it. When it shakes things up, it wakes things up, but it also initiates a lot of change, a lot of growth through the process of those changes, through the process of those shifts. It is a transitionary card. It is a card of change. There's several in the tarot, like, the Death card, the Tower, the Wheel, the World, the Judgment. I'm probably missing a few. But nonetheless, those are change and transitionary cards. And the Tower is definitely one of them. So this major period of change is what's coming to a close. That cycle is coming to a close. But that cycle, I feel also that came to a close is probably necessary for your growth, your healing, your wellness, activating the biggest parts of your heart, healing your heart of old wounds, of past loves, past disappointments even. And it's also opening you up to see things clearly. No illusions, right? The Tower brings down the illusions. And it does feel like hindsight. It almost feels like for some of you where you are right now, you could look back on what that taught you and what it brought to you and how it changed you and all that, and how you've healed since then. Okay, so let's take a look at the beginnings, right? Because I honestly feel like this is super powerful. Like, those of you picking pile number 3, your heart is that much bigger, that much brighter, that much wider, that much more receptive, that much more healed, because of the cycle that's now ending. So anyhow, let's see what this new beginning is bringing. Like, because to me, this is like really big stuff, okay? Let's see what's beginning for you now. Oh, the 6 of Cups. So yeah, remember when I was saying how this could be somebody, a soulmate, right? That activated your heart chakra or opened you up or woke you up to a major cycle of healing and change, right? Let's see, because, you know, we have a 6 of Cups here, so let's see. Oh, remember I said the Judgment? Wow, the Judgment is also a change and transitionary card. Yeah, I honestly think that this last cycle is definitely about love. The cycle that's closing out for you is about love, but I also feel like this new beginning that you're encountering with the 6 of Cups, I think this is connected to the cycle that's ending. I think the 6 of Cups is connected to these 2 cards here, okay? Because we have the Ace of Cups, so it's signifying love. And I think whoever this 6 of Cups is to you, because six of Cups can sometimes talk about a soulmate, a kindred spirit, somebody really close to you, somebody you have history with, a childhood sweetheart, childhood friend, somebody that you don't easily forget, okay? This cycle and this 6 of Cups, to me, is the same person that maybe you are dealing with, or same situation, right? But it also talks about childhood wounds and things like that, things of the childhood, right? Which goes back again to the healing of the heart, healing your inner child. I think this last cycle might have been for some of you, the cycle that's ending might have been that of you healing your inner child. And now with the Judgment, reconciling that in this new chapter, in this new beginning. Judgment is about letting go. Definitely letting go and releasing. It is a liberation card. It is the phoenix that rises from the ashes, because the people in the tomb in that card rise from the tomb. And the 6 of Cups speaks of people and things and situations from the past, and we get nostalgic about those things, right? A lot of times it speaks of nostalgia and memories and fondness for things gone by. So when I'm looking at the 6 of Cups and the Judgment, this new beginning is reconciling the past for what it was, for what it wasn't, and letting it go. So it doesn't hold you down or hold you back anymore. It's this saying that this new energy you're entering into, this new beginning, is going to bring you a healed inner child. Like those childhood wounds being healed. And you maybe even connecting back to your inner child and being reconciled, right, with those things within. It's weird because I was already feeling all of these things over here in this card over here as well. And this is kind of confirming. remember the feeling of hindsight that I was getting? This is definitely confirming that too. It's because this new beginning is a beginning where you can look back at it with nostalgia and fondness, but no more pain, if you know what I mean. Because you healed that. You can look back on it hindsight and look back and see what it taught you, but you don't have to hold on to that anymore. You don't have to hold on to that pain anymore. Because you've risen above it, right? With the judgment energy. You can look back on the past, but it doesn't have the same power to keep you bound, right? Again, the liberation and freedom that comes from the Judgment card. I'm curious about, I don't know, I feel like also the lightning bolt in the tower energy always strikes me with, especially with the Ace of Cups, it might have been a love at first sight situation. Like I said, somebody blasted your heart chakra open, maybe even hurt or broke your heart, you know. Sometimes heartbreak does blast our heart chakra open, and you know, it's an unfortunate way for it to happen. But nonetheless, it does. Sometimes we need it blasted open so we can heal it. Yeah, I'm really looking at this like whoever this was or whatever this situation was, it's putting you on the path to freedom. Personal freedom, spiritual freedom, where you just feel lighter. You're not holding on to those things anymore. You're not holding on to maybe those people anymore. You can look back on them, but they don't have that same power over you the way they once did, you know, or what it could be. Someone or something just doesn't have the same power that it once did whenever you think about them, right? The memories that come from the Six of Cups. Let me get another card on this. This just feels like a major healing cycle is coming to a close. And what it's bringing new is this renewed sense of self. Again, a rebirth, a renaissance with the judgment energy. A full-on healing. Now it's more like you can look back on the things and the last cycle that you've been through that's ended. You can look back on it and just appreciate it for what it was and what it taught you and what it brought you. Okay. We have the Factory. That does talk about labor and things that are indeed laborious. Okay. And it is an energy where we work hard on ourselves. We work hard on the things that matter to us. We put a lot of energy, sometimes even tenacity, right, into things. It does talk about bringing things into reality, right, with a little toil, labor, blood, sweat, and tears, right? And in this case, it kind of feels like you've had a lot of work that you've done on yourself. Again, it's been a healing work, it feels like. Why do I get the vibe of the Factory feeling like a labor of love with that Ace of Cups, but more or less a labor of love for yourself and on yourself? It feels like just working on you. Like this last cycle that's coming to a close was basically you working on you. You know, again, if you had an awakening or some major healing work that you were going through, that factory is that work. You working on yourself. It's also 3 plus 4 is 7, and 7 is, you know, a spiritual number as well. So it kind of feels like doing the spiritual work, laboring over that in this last cycle. Like you've done the work to heal. You've also done the work to shift things in your life, to do better, to feel better, to be better. You know, healing work is not an easy thing, right? You go through it. What's coming to a close is this major healing cycle. You know, I see all the water in this Ace of Cups, and it's like, you know, water is cleansing and restorative and cathartic. Like I think of tears, I think of, you know, tears that flow. We might have those ugly cries, but damn it, they are healing. They are cathartic, right? They are purging. And nobody says like healing is going to be a pretty thing, you know? But when we can get to a point where we feel healed and we know we're healed and we can reconcile those wounds, like we can come to terms with them, right? Own them for what they are, accept them, but also love those things about ourselves that make us who we are, even if it meant we went through hell, right, to experience them. When we get to that point where we can like love our scars, okay, physical, as well as those that have been placed there on the inside too. It's a beautiful thing, okay? And that's what this energy over here feels like. You know, you coming to love yourself and reconciling the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, you know, the magical, the mysterious, like every aspect of yourself. Because we're multifaceted beings, you know, we're not one-dimensional. So this is about like loving all the layers to your onion. In other words, the Six of Cups, for whatever reason, and the Judgment is giving me those feelings. So, and you did the work. You did the spiritual work. And now you're free. You're moving into this new beginning, feeling free, liberated, having a personal renaissance even. Being at peace with the past as well with the Six of Cups. Ready to embrace new things. Transitioning to a newer version of you, a more refined version of you, like a factory, right? Yeah. I think that's another word for a factory, actually, a refinery. I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for whatever reason, I'm getting the vibe of like a refinery. And again, the multifaceted aspect of it is giving me that vibe, but this card is definitely showing me that you've done the work. You've done the work to get to the point where you can let it go and really accept it for what it was, accept it for what it wasn't, whatever that situation was to you, the past cycle that you've been going through. It changed you, shifted things for you. It opened you up to a lot of things with the Ace of Cups. It showed you the deepest things within your heart. It exposed your heart, maybe even. It maybe even made you vulnerable, like, you know, to where you were able to, share your love with somebody, because that is vulnerability, to give your heart to someone and not know what they're going to do with it. You know, could have taught you that. Yeah, I think this is a really, really beautiful reading for those of you who have done that shadow work, who have done that healing work. And oddly enough, hold on. Green is the color of the heart chakra, and you get the Ace of Cups here, right? And you have Malachite. And when I say your heart chakra got blasted open, is because of the Tower and this combo together. And then here you have this green, which is the color of the heart chakra and the mother, right? So, also Malachite is associated with the goddess Hathor. So, definitely goddess of love, right? Hathor. This definitely feels like a love situation for some of you. Otherwise, this is something else you've experienced that initiated a big catalyst for growth, which put you on the path to this, maybe, you know, working on yourself spiritually, healing yourself, and reconciling a lot of things from the past, and then getting to a point where you're having a rebirth moment in this new energy or new beginning that's opening up to you, a personal renaissance of sorts. So let's see what this card says, and then I'm going to grab a final oracle card. All right, it says three-eyed raven. As sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news. Whoa, but it says prepare for the unexpected. Whoa. Prepare for the unexpected. Interesting. Three-eyed raven, as sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news. Could you get news from someone or something? Could you get an unexpected phone call from someone? Okay, I'm seeing another scenario, and because I'm seeing it, I gotta call it out. I'm trying to stick to the positions, right? But I'm seeing something as a whole here, beginnings and endings aside. Okay, for some of you, this could have been the Tower with the Ace of Cups, could have been a major breakup with the love of your life or a soulmate, right? This card is giving me vibes that for some of you, not all of you, right? Because I do feel that some of you have reconciled the past and are moving on from that and truly letting that go. Because you've done the major work on yourself with this Factory card, no lie. However, because there's an unexpected message that could come through with this card, right? There's a possibility someone with the Six of Cups could come back. Because sometimes the Six of Cups can talk about an ex. But we kind of established this was somebody maybe for some of you that you were already with. So that does apply. That an ex could come back and ask for atonement with the judgment. They might try to come back and atone for whatever they did to break your heart or hurt you over here. They could maybe try to ask to work on it. Okay. That's why it says prepare for the unexpected. A messenger raven calls out with news. And that's what I'm saying. If an ex does come back, they might be coming back after you've gone through your healing, maybe with the judgment to ask for forgiveness and try to atone for something that happened. Maybe rectify what happened. Like I said, for the majority of you, I think this healing situation, you're really putting it behind you. And even if they did come back, let's say, you would have been so healed or so free, right? Because technically you've had a liberation with the judgment. You'd be so free that you could easily forgive them and just move on and like close that door and give yourself the closure, maybe by accepting their apology or something like that. I can't say this is maybe reunion, okay? I'm not seeing it as necessarily reunion for some of you, but I do feel that there is the potential that somebody could come back and ask for forgiveness, at least. Okay. And for some of you, you might not even need that. That might not even be the case. The fact is that this new beginning is bringing a lot of closure to the past that put you on the path to your growth and healing. So if anything, you know, be grateful for that the experience with this person, right, put you on the path to your own self-love, to your own self-healing. They initiated a lot of change and growth in you via the experience that you had with them. And that could definitely be something that with the Judgment card and the Six of Cups, you can look back on and be grateful, you know, because no regrets, right? Be grateful that you learned what you learned. Like I said, this was feeling a lot like hindsight, getting to a point where you were able to look back and just feel okay with what you've been through, what you experienced, what you learned in the process of that major healing. Because I know personally, and this is just me looking back on things hindsight as well, I can look back on a lot of situations with different people and be thankful and grateful that they brought whatever lesson it was that they brought to my life, because if it wasn't for that experience, I wouldn't be who I am now, right, in some aspect. I wouldn't have learned what I needed to learn in order to level up in my life in some aspect. So things do have, you know, pros and cons. I don't believe that any situation we ever encounter, you know, is ever truly in vain if it's something we can learn from. Okay. So again, what I feel from this is you moving on, letting go, looking back on the past and being, you know, reconciled with it, being at ease with it and at peace with it. And this new beginning could definitely bring a lot of unexpected things. As it says, prepare for the unexpected. So let's see if we can get a final oracle card for this pile number 3 viewers. Final oracle card for pile number 3 viewers. Whoa, what was that? Hold on. I'm losing everything now, but that one did flip over. Sacred Pool. Okay, let's read it. 47. Let me find it. Hold on. Almost there. Okay. Sacred Pool, as it says. The world is a reflection of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Embody the love you wish to see in the world. And there are upright and reverse. I always read both in case they resonate. But it says, when you look into the mirror, do you like what you see? This card asks that you focus on self-love and self-esteem. Yeah, I mean, we were kind of talking about that, right? Let's see. Reflect by the sacred pool and be at peace with yourself. Oh my gosh. Yeah, isn't that what we're talking about? Like hindsight, you'll look back on the situation with this new beginning and be at peace and be at peace with yourself and the whole situation and what was and what wasn't, and reconcile all those things within. So it says a detached self-examination made with rigorous honesty is called for now. Can you see how far you've come and how magical your life is? Whoa, wasn't I talking about that? I was saying, you know, you'll be able to look at yourself and, you know, be at peace with the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the magical, and all of that. And this card is literally talking about that. Do you notice the spark of the divine shining through your eyes when you're conscious that you're the embodiment? Sorry, it's hard for me to read through the screen, by the way. It says, do you notice the spark of the divine shining through your eyes when you're conscious that you're the embodiment of spirit? It becomes easier to act in good conscience, then you'll reap the greatest rewards. Your unique service to the world is not only needed but celebrated. See the love within you and know that if you cast it upon the waters, it will return to you tenfold. Be at peace, for you are beautiful and loved. Look at that. Act with surety and confidence, and success shall be yours, whatever your inquiry.
Reversed, it says, it can be difficult to overcome denial when there is a reward for staying where you are. If you can't accept and love yourself, you remain trapped, wearing a false mask of victimhood. The benefit of embracing denial and the victim's mask is that you never have to take a real risk. Dimming your light serves no one. Turning away from the truth reflected in the stillness of the sacred pool keeps you in denial, doing the same thing over and over again. Such vain efforts lead to a tedious, boring existence. Take the risk and shine your beautiful light into the world. Look in the mirror and see the truth. Surrender the need to self-sabotage. Remember that you have a responsibility not just to yourself, but to the divine spark within you. Accept the discomfort of seeing with clear eyes, and you'll soon find that wondrous adventures are waiting for you. Step into your magical life. Take the leap of faith. Whoa, okay.
Whoa, that's a lot to get into. Yeah. I'll let you sit with that last part of the reverse message, okay? Again, I feel like you're entering a new chapter here with this Judgment card, maybe able to release the limitations that maybe you once felt. It feels like the Tower, the period that you just recently are getting out of, is clearing all that away, cleaning the slate, right? So there are no more limitations if that's the case. And then the Judgment is releasing and letting go of the chains that would normally bind and keep you maybe from taking those risks on yourself. You know, I'll let you in on a little something. The other day I was talking about self-love, right? Self-love, when you get to a point where you love yourself, you're going to tolerate less and less effery, if you know what I mean, right? You're going to tolerate less things that do not align with your inherent nature, okay? If you're with someone who's not appreciating you, self-love is going to not allow you to tolerate that kind of behavior or mistreatment, right? If you're at a job that you can't stand, self-love is not going to allow you to tolerate working there, giving your time, your energy, and your life, because it's time you can't get back, to a job that you can't stand, right? It's going to get to a point where self-love is going to overpower all that and say, you know what? You could be doing something different. Figure it out and go do that. Self-love is not going to allow you to tolerate a job that you hate. You know, you're feeling that restlessness because self-love is not letting you settle for it, right? Same thing applies like if you're in a place that you don't want to be in, or an environment that does not align with your soul, right? Self-love is going to put you on the path to get out of that environment and go seek that environment that will fulfill you, right? So again, the more you love yourself, the less BS you're willing to tolerate, whether that be people or environments or a job. Self-love oftentimes won't let you rest until you are in alignment with your inherent nature, okay? With that of your soul. So if your soul is asking for this or requires this, a certain thing, let's say, self-love is not going to allow you to settle for that which opposes, okay, that inherent need on a soul level. Like I said, self-love isn't going to allow you to tolerate somebody mistreating you, or a job that you hate that doesn't align with your soul's calling, or any situation that is not going to fill or feel like it's meant for you, right? Or it's what you want. In other words, you got to get to a point where you know your worth, right? Knowing that you deserve better, and then not tolerating it. So, okay, that was a little rant there, but I think that kind of applied to this, especially with this card, as far as the reversed message of this card. Okay, so pile number 3 viewers, I'll leave you here. Okay, much love to you wherever you are. If you feel that this has helped or connected for you, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to support this channel. Click the little bell for notification as well to get notified of future content, because I do upload often. That way you don't miss videos, and every interaction does help this channel grow. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, all you have to do is visit the description box down below. The link to my Etsy shop is there. All you have to do is pay me a visit. I have tarot readings as well as handmade crystal jewelry that I make with my 2 hands on my free time. So much love to you again, pile number 3 viewers. Be well, be safe, take care, but keep shining always.